Alrighty, we are indeed live.
It's on.
Playing us in.
All right. Hooah.
Welcome to Earl and the Idiot,
Oh,
the
it's
show
not
that
coming through on the thing.
you need to take your business to the next level.
Oh,
Oh,
okay, start.
With Earl Formata,
shoot.
one of Vancouver.
I'm not sharing my audio. That makes sense. That
Please disregard everyone.
that would be
We need
totally
one of,
good.
we need one of those Men in Black memory eraser things.
Take two. Tick.
Yeah.
Here we go again.
Oh, yeah.
Welcome to Earl and the Idiot, the show that gives you the answers you need to take your business to the next level. With Earl Formata, one of Vancouver's most sought-after business and marketing consultants, author of Business Engine Optimization, consultant to over 60 successful businesses, an all-around evil marketing genius with a combined total of more than $70 million worth of sales to his credit. And some idiot. Okay, here we go.
Some idiot who this week it's I don't know what's going on, like the lights bouncing off the tree outside or something, and it's getting all green on this side of my face.
Oh, weird.
I don't know why the colors are, but don't I look like I'm in an evil lab? I look like I'm
A little bit. You have the little
kind
the
of
evil lab glow to you.
yes. I feel like it should be accompanied by the sound of like bubbling vials and stuff.
Yeah, totally.
Do you remember that? You remember that weird show? This is probably the right vintage. Um, it was like a kid show. It was on YTV when we were growing up, and it was like Dracula's House of Horrors or whatever.
Kind
There was
of.
like a
Yeah, yeah.
Wolfman radio DJ and
Oh,
this huge
yeah.
Frankenstein dude,
I
right?
totally remember
Th-
that. I have no idea what the hell it's called. I flip through channels. You see it once in a while. You're like, yeah, okay.
Right? It was a weird like 70s hangover kids show. It was very bizarre.
Yeah.
And they would play the Wolfman would play these like trippy psychedelic 70s hits,
Hmm.
and the big guy would dance around or have the crazy like green screen effects behind him.
There you go. Now that we've dated ourselves,
Yeah, right. Like, I'm gonna
let's
get
begin the show.
I'm gonna download. I'm gonna find the video, the psychedelic background, and I'm gonna upload it as a video background for me on Zoom, and I'm gonna use that in all my meetings.
Excellent. I love it. I
How are you
want
doing,
I
Ron?
want to upload that. Remember the pinball thing from Sesame Street?
What? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11,
11,
12.
12. That's the one.
That's any one of our vintage. You can go up to them and just say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and they just activate like a
And they'll
sniper
they'll
agent,
just
and
keep
they
kicking. It's
yeah
almost like remember when Zoolander had that relax playing and he tries to kill the Malaysian president or whatever. Yeah, yeah, exactly. It's like it's a mind thing where we've been trained to sing the rest of the
yeah
song.
the Jason Bourne deal.
Yeah, exactly.
How's your week going, Earl?
Been an interesting week. It's been fun. I got to speak at the African Canadian Business Summit a couple
Yes,
days
you seem
ago.
very qualified to be at the African Canadian business.
They had me on the tech panel, so I was talking about AI and Web3 and blockchain. I'm like, all right, cool. So they asked me to come up there. So a friend of mine was one of the sponsors of the event, and she asked me to seat in one of the panel seats. So that was a lot of fun. So
Cool.
there you go.
How'd it go? Did you deliver shocking revelations? Did you
I hope
blow
so.
anybody's
There were
mind?
there were a couple of there were a couple of cool questions that I was able to give weird, unique answers to just because of my strange experience
Right.
background. They were asking, how do we make blockchain, how do we use blockchain to make money? So one of my clients is named Hivelo, and I'm gonna go nerdy on you guys. It's a DPIN service. If you don't know anything about
It's a what?
DPIN.
We're just
I'm
making up
not gonna
words now.
I'm not gonna unpack that. There's
Yeah,
just
that's
essentially it's you can use your computer, and while you're not using it, you could rent some of the resources out. So either space or internet or processing power, and they'll pay you for it. So while you're not using your computer, it can just run and answer questions or do stuff or run AI or something like that. And
yeah,
while you're not using it, they'll pay you for it. So it's not like giant money. It's like maybe $20, $30 here, a month or something like that. But that pays for Netflix, you know. But
yeah,
the 20, $30, like in Africa, goes a whole lot longer, like it goes a whole lot more for food, right? Like there, 30
yeah,
bucks could
yeah,
be the difference between paying, eating with your family or not, right? So for there, that's life changing. For here, it pays for like a sandwich and Netflix, right? So
yeah. I went to a I went to a restaurant when I was in South Africa. Uh, it wasn't an upscale restaurant. It was like a what's between like TGI Fridays and the Keg? What would be that? Like a
So yeah,
Chili's.
just yeah, like a
Yeah.
mid tier, like
And
an Earl's or like a Cactus Club, whatever. Yeah.
yeah, and for $12 I got a steak that hung off both sides of the plate. It was
Holy
insane.
cow. 12
Yeah.
bucks.
Yeah.
So you use this magic deep end thing and you get 2.5 steaks a month. That sounds great. I would do that.
I'll take it. And and all the trimmings. It wasn't just the steak.
Yeah. Mashed potatoes and everything, right?
Hmm. That's cool. My question would
Um,
be, does the fan turn on my laptop if I'm renting out the processing power? Because it's in my room.
um,
If the fan keeps kicking on all night, I'm going to be annoyed.
no, it doesn't really kick on the fan. You can choose which things it does. So just pick the one that's more quiet. Like, but there's creative ways to go around this, right? Like you could, there's a school full of computers. The school needs more money, right? They've
Right.
got like 100 computers in the lab not really being used in the nighttime. At $30 a pop, that pays for stuff.
Yeah. Why not? Anyway, any cool events coming up this week?
Mm, I'm going to a wedding on Saturday, and then I have a gala to go to on Saturday right afterwards. So we're jumping from wedding to gala right away. So
Nice. Don't even have to take your tux off.
nope, just switching. Just bring the same suit. I'm gonna wear this. This is the blue suit that I was wearing at some other event. So I'm
Oh
gonna
yeah.
put that up, and I'm just yeah,
Uh,
getting ready to go. So I will
And how are
do
you?
the
How are you
free do the
monetizing these
fancy three
events?
piece. What was that?
How are you monetizing these events? You're always monetizing everything. So how do we monetize this? How do you
You
monetize a
can't
wedding?
really you can't really monetize the wedding. Usually when you go, it costs you money because you have to give
Hey,
gifts. But
right.
the monetization of the gala, I'm one of the sponsors. So it's there you go. So I get to do an activation at the gala and make money. So fun.
That'll work. Cool. All right. A lot of small talk. You got anything else?
Not really. There's a couple fun events coming up the week after next, but yeah, that's next week. So otherwise if I give those away, I'll have nothing to talk about next week. So
Yeah. Unless are they Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday? Because if you won't have a chance to talk about them again.
oh yeah, actually, funny enough, it's right after ours. So right after ours, I have to suit up. It's a black tie event, so I have to suit up and then haul ass downtown right after our show. So next week I have a hard stop at 5 because I have to make it to the gala.
Fair enough.
So two galas. One of them is
Yeah.
a fancy dancy casino gala. So I have that's hence the black tie. So
Right.
the Bond
Nice. I don't.
theme.
I have I ever. I guess I've been to one. I went to a fundraiser that was black tie. What couldn't have been
Nice.
black? Black tie means tuxedo, right?
No, we can. It's black tie. It's either tuxedo, three-piece suit, anything like that. Like three-piece tuxedo. Depends on how fancy you want to go. So,
Right. I went with. I was just blazer. I didn't have a vest, so I don't know if that counts. That's not a three-piece suit, right? You
hmm.
need a vest to have a three-piece.
So I'm gonna go three-piece black suit because I'm gonna wear the blue suit. So I gotta switch suits, otherwise I'm always the same, right? So there you go.
It was like a brown tie affair. It wasn't quite black
Brown
tie.
tie. One step down from the black tie, kind of like martial arts, brown belt then black belt, right? So brown
Exactly.
tie
Yeah.
then
There you go.
black tie. That's how it works, right?
I was thinking, why did I think brown tie is one step below black? Oh yeah, martial arts belts. There you go. There's a white tie. There's white tie events.
I've seen them. I was invited to one, but I didn't want to find a white suit and white everything, and I don't have enough white material to do
But
that.
you'd still wear like a black vest, like a black blazer
Hmm.
or black tuxedo jacket, right? But it's just a white shirt with a white tie. I don't
Hmm. Well, there's a fancy dancy food thing called Dinner en Blanc, and essentially it's a big ass picnic where everybody shows up, brings their own food. They throw a gigantic party, but everybody's wearing pure white. So, yeah, I thought about going. I just there was too many things all at once. There was like 5 events on the same day. I'm like, no, I'm not gonna make it. So,
know.
so
They do that
there.
all the time on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. I've
Hmm.
heard. I mean, I never watched the
Oh,
show, of
because you
course.
watch it all the time, right? You're a regular watcher.
Wouldn't no, I don't
No.
watch that show. Obviously, I've just heard from other people that watch the show that they're always like, "Oh, we're doing a white tie. Oh no, 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 go to a white party. Oh yeah, white party. Yeah, yeah, let's go to a white party. And they don't need to explain. Everyone's like, oh yeah, white party. It's like, what's a white party? They just show up wearing white. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It's just one of
So,
those. It's one of those themes for theme's sake. You know what I mean?
right. I never understood the fashion faux pas of wearing whites after Labor Day. That
You know what's weird? I
that never
literally
that I
just
didn't get that.
I just saw an article about that. There was literally just a Reddit post about that,
Okay.
and I remember seeing that and going, "Oh," and it was something to do with a part of the world where I think people would come there for summer, like on vacation, and
Hmm.
then they tend to wear white, and then they would leave. I think that's how it got started.
Weird. All right. Well,
Yeah,
you have a robot behind you, so maybe we
I
should
got a
talk about
robot.
that guy.
I just the last thing I was going to say. You ever read Emily Post's or Emily was it Emily Post? Yeah, the etiquette book by Emily Post.
I've heard of it. I've never read it.
What a nightmare! Oh my
Yeah.
god, I read it. And it's like, oh, use this kind of fork at this time. There was this list of like who you tip and when, and it was like absolute insanity. Like, oh, if they do this, but they don't have three of these, you tip them 20%, but it's seven of those, then you tip 4% if it's not Sunday. And you're like, I can't keep track of all
If
this
it's not
stuff.
Sunday, oh my gosh. Yeah, that's a lot
Yeah.
of rules. Man. You need an
And it's
AI
like, who
just to fulfill etiquette.
yeah, like Emily Post wrote it all down, but this all existed for some goddamn reason. And even just
Who
using the
knows?
right fork and spoon and everything with this,
That
it's like,
that
no, just
that makes it difficult. I've been to those fancy ass dinners where you got like 17 and a half forks and three knives and
yeah,
whatever. All I remember is just eat outside in and then like you
outside in,
just
yeah.
go from the outside and go inside per
Yeah, there's
dish
different
and eventually
glasses.
you'll
There's
get
your
there.
sherry glass and your water glass, and it's like, who cares? Who cares? Why are we making life so
Why is it
difficult for
so
ourselves?
fancy? Don't know.
But
Don't
I guess that's why the moneyed parts of the world don't like letting us plebes in. They're like, ugh, they use the wrong fork. Gross.
know. They must be a lowborn.
Yes. Anyway, I guess that's the whole point is excluding people. Anyway, before we get into too much class warfare, we
Yeah.
should probably bring ourselves back on track. So I love these prompts when we talk about AI because these robots are my favorite. These 50s robots.
Yeah,
I can't
absolutely.
get rid of them. I mean, look at this thing. Look at this thing AI just created out of thin air.
Absolutely. And
It's great.
I made this entire thing, this entire presentation with a bunch of robots in the background. I love it. The robots are my favorite.
Yeah. It's like if I'd shown up to some kind of movie with this as a CGI creation, they'd be like, wow, that's a really impressive CGI robot you've created there. You're really creative and very talented. I'm like, yeah, I did it in 2 seconds with no effort on my part. It's
Have you
I
seen
was
the
just
new
talking about
AIs that let you stitch together two frames? So you make one picture, another picture, and it'll actually tween everything in between. So it gets from one frame to the other. It's
oh,
crazy.
I think I've seen those. Yeah, gotta try that.
So
Um,
you make your robot taking a sip, and it goes from nothing to taking a sip, and it just stitches everything together. I'm like, that's terrifying.
yeah,
So,
or this close. So yeah, you could just create the important panels of a scene and then just
and
have
then
it
just
do
put them
all the
together.
animating in
It's pretty
between.
cool. Yeah.
There's a lot of jobs that are going by the boards, man. A lot of
Yep. There you
jobs.
go. All right.
Um,
So today's topic,
today's topic.
you picked.
I'm interested in this one because I kept here I kept seeing you post on the WhatsApp group and other people going on about how cool this is, and I think it's really something I can employ for my clients. So I'm really interested to hear. Um, we're talking about using AI to plan out the content for your business. Looks like you got a few hacks for this one, right?
Couple, yeah.
Couple. So here's the question we asked, and for those we haven't done the introductions. For those of you joining us just now, this is Earl and the Idiot. Earl is our resident marketing and business consulting genius, and I'm here to ask the dumb questions to get him to say the smart things. I'm here to fail to understand him and ask for clarification so that he makes it easier for everybody to understand. That's my role in all this. And the way we do it is we get AI. We found this was the most effective. We get AI to answer a business question, and then we discuss um, the ins and outs of the answer that AI has given us. So, are we all ready for this?
All right.
Dive right into it. There's the
Dive
90-minute
right in. It's
mark.
only been 20 minutes. We'll dive right in.
Yeah. So we asked AI today, asking as a business consultant and a marketing expert, I need assistance in using AI to create a content plan for my business. What are 3 things or ways to use AI to better create content plans and calendars 2 things to avoid when doing so, and 1 red hot tip for really squeezing the power out of AI to crush the content game. Let us crush the content game.
There you go.
So let's get into this. 3 ways to use AI to better create content plans and calendars. Oh, it's giving long answers to us. 1, automated content creation and ideation. Find ideation for me.
Ideation is throwing ideas back and forth. So coming up with ideas to make content.
Brainstorming.
Yeah, brainstorming.
All right. Okay. This is what AI tells us to do. We asked AI how to use the AI to defeat the AI. Utilizing AI tools like GPT-based models, similar to ChatGPT, or specialized content creation platforms, e.g., Jasper AI, Jasper.ai, and Copy.ai. Never heard of those. Oh, Jasper I've heard of, not Copy. To generate a wide range of content ideas based on trending topics, keywords, and audience interests. These tools can analyze themes and suggest content formats, blogs, videos, infographics, etc., that resonate with your target audience. Leverage AI-powered topic clusters and pillar content strategies to build interconnected content that boosts SEO and audience engagement. AI can help identify core themes and subtopics, structuring a content calendar that covers a comprehensive range of subjects. Oh my God, there's so much to unpack here.
That was actually deep, and it's absolutely right. And the hilarity of it is, I just did this the other day, and but I didn't. I had to go through a lot to get to this. So this is talking about leveraging AI powered topic clusters and pillar content. So that one piece that AI answered is actually golden. So if you were to use that, so I'll give you an example.
Define those 2 things. Define topic clusters and pillar content.
So pillar content, topic clusters, pillar content, same idea. So you have one big idea, you have one big piece of content, and then what you do, it's like a wheel, right? So you think about a bicycle wheel. It's got hubs and spokes, right? So it's got that middle chunk and it's got a bajillion little things sticking out of it that are spokes. So you have this pillar content, that's the big piece. And then you've got all these little bits that stick out, right? Just like the spokes on the wheel. And so you got all these little mini content pieces that end up going back to the hub. So if someone's interested in one of the little pieces, you tell them, well, there's a bigger, better, stronger, crazier article here if you want to read the whole thing. And so you have this one piece and you have a million little pieces. And that's actually how to do proper content structured marketing. That's pretty good. So the AI actually answered it like super, super well. So I like that. I agree with it 100%. There's people selling this information for like hundreds of dollars, and the AI just gave it to you for free, right? So it's just that you have to be able to realize what the AI just gave you. Like, this is a course that people are paying $1,000 for, and the AI just gave it to you for free. The problem is that if you don't
You're getting it here
know,
free, folks, on Earl and the Idiot.
oh, there you go.
On Earl and the Idiot.
But if you don't know the value of what the AI just said, you'll skip over this going, yeah, blah, blah, blah. No, man, like this thing makes it really, really good. And the purpose of it, it says it interconnects and boosts SEO. And it is absolutely correct. Because if you build a pillar piece, like a big old piece of content, and then you build stuff that goes around it, but all use words. So I'll go fancy for a second. This is called latent semantic indexing. So LSI indexing is, if I explain it in simple terms, is if I want to rank for the word, let's call it a tree, okay, I have to use words that go with tree. But you have to first define what kind of tree. Is it a family tree, right? Maybe it's a corporate, hierarchy tree, right? That's completely different, right? Or maybe it's like a tree with bark and leaves and wood and, dirt, right? So apples, sap. So all those words go along with it. So the thing that it talked about here with the topic clusters and the pillar content, and then branching it out with like the hub and spoke model, freaking brilliant. That SEO is the crap out of it. So that is exactly what you're supposed to do. And so if you use SEO to do this, and I also like the fact that ChatGPT is benevolent enough to talk about its competitors.
Yeah.
So it was talking about Jasper, talking about Copy AI. Well, Jasper's not really a competitor because it's still off the OpenAI AI architecture. So it's giving you a different angle of it. It's a specially trained version of ChatGPT, right? but copy AI, right? So that's really cool. I like how it was very giving to other AIs. It's like it says, no,
He is
don't
a
use anybody else. Only
magnanimous.
use me.
He's a
Please pick me.
magnanimous AI
But
overlord.
use the other ones. I'm like, that's pretty cool. So yeah. So yes, cool that it says the other ones. Also very cool that it says use clusters and pillar content and interconnect them because that is exactly how to do it properly. And if you build a content calendar around that, it makes your life easier. So yes, very
Okay,
cool.
so let's hang on. Let me fulfill my role as an idiot here, and get you to break this down for me a bit more
Sure.
fundamentally. Let's keep using trees. Let's say you're a landscaping company,
Hmm.
and and like an arborist, tree maintenance kind of thing. You're not a tech whiz, and you want to start upping your content game for your website. How
Right.
are you? What are you sitting down? You sit down and you do what at
So
your
you sit
computer?
down and you ask the AI, hey, I want to write a book about trees, or I want to write some content about trees. Can
Yeah,
you come up
let's go for
with,
like website content.
sir, website content? Well, even the website content, I want to write 10 big articles about trees. Can you give me 20 really good ideas and I'll pick half of them and then we'll run with that. And so those are the big ideas. And then you take those big ideas and you chop them into smaller bits. Hey, okay, so idea number 7, I really like that one. Can we take that and blow that up into 5 small pieces? And it will. So that's the hub and then spoke model. So the little bits and pieces that stick out go from there. So
So
you
your
have
your
this.
your big idea would be like so I mean whatever AI
So
gives you.
care
So
and
let's say
maintenance of evergreen trees. It'll give you that as one of the suggestions.
so that's
So
that you consider that a core hub
well,
topic.
yeah, because an evergreen tree with the little tiny leaves and the pines is very different from like, a big ass tree with leaves that fall down when fall hits, right?
Even that to me sounds a little specific. I'd be like improving your property with trees would be a
Right. Like for example, let's pretend that you live in a place that's kind of a little arid and like the dirt just blows away in the wind. If you plant trees, the dirt stays put and doesn't go anywhere. Like that's a good
okay.
thing. So when it talks about those little bits and bobs, I mean, that's really cool. So you're taking that one idea of keeping the dirt where it's supposed to be, right?
Mm.
And it just talks about that. And it talks about 5 different ways to do that. That's the hub and spoke model. That is a really cool way to construct your content because then when you build it like that, number one, it's engaging. If you tell me this big idea and you break it up into 5, 10 parts, you're breaking a big scary thing into 10 bite-sized pieces, such that, mere mortals who have no idea about arborists can talk about these tree things and actually keep a conversation going. It's like, oh, that makes sense. It's bite-sized chunks that doesn't make me feel stupid, right?
Mm.
And that's just cool. Just doing it like that keeps human attention. Because if you my buddy Blair, okay, he's my mentor. Um, his very first book, you had to have a PhD to read the damn thing. Like I felt stupid reading this book. And every 5 words I had to get a dictionary or thesaurus and go, what the hell does that mean? Right. And so when you if you speak that technically, nobody wants to read your crap. Right. Yeah, we get it, you're smart, but I can't read it without feeling dumb. So when this thing breaks those topics into smaller bits, so the pillar content into the topic clusters, awesome. Right. When you say, hey, do this to make the dirt not go nowhere, I can follow that. Right.
Mhm.
And here's the benefits of keeping your dirt, you know, et cetera, et cetera. So those are
And
ways to structure it in such a way that people can follow it and SEO likes it. Because it's rare that you get stuff that people like and stuff that robots like, because the robots think differently than people. But if you can moosh them together, this gave you both, right?
um so and from my understanding as well, if you break down, you get more granular and specific in your content,
Hmm.
um, you're more likely to catch some audience because you're not in the major pillar subjects, you're into the granular ones. But
Well,
you
yeah,
write the
it's
pillar ones, right? You write the main core content as well, and then also the spokes, right? You don't
right.
just do the spokes.
But you do them all together in one go. Because if you do that properly, you win all the small games. Okay, so I'll give you another example. My friend Cindy just wrote a best-selling book on AI. So she's an Amazon bestseller already. I'm like, oh, it's fantastic.
Well done, Cindy.
So what did she write about? Well, she wrote specifically about this one specific corner of AI. So it was easier for her to stand out in that one small niche. So it was easier for her to become a bestseller. If she just tried to write about like a really big business topic, like, I don't know, business, that's really tough, right? So the smaller your niche, the easier it is for you to stand out in the space. So there you go. So yeah, the hub and spoke, or like the pillar content and topic cluster, is you write a big piece, you chop it into a little million bits, and those are the little fish hooks that you shoot off the side of your boat, and one of them fish hooks is going to catch you a fish. You just don't know which one. So that's the cool part about it. And when you make these things, it's not like when you use the fish hook, it's gone, it's done for. No, you might catch another fish with that hook, exact same one, but you have no idea which hook is going to catch, right? So you have your main idea, you have like a bunch of little mini ideas, and you just throw them out there. Yeah, the little guys are going to catch something.
All right. Well, how do we know what's going to work and not work? Well, let's check out number two. I think this dovetails quite nicely. Number two suggestion on how to use AI to create for content creation is AI driven analytics and performance prediction. Oh, prediction instead of just analyzing. Use
Hmm.
AI to analyze past content performance and audience engagement metrics. AI tools can assess which type of content, e.g., videos, blog posts, social media updates, perform best and predict future trends, allowing for more data driven content planning. AI can also segment your audience based on behavior and preferences, providing personalized content suggestions that increase engagement. Platforms like HubSpot or Marketo, I've heard of that one, use machine learning to fine tune content recommendations and distribution schedules.
Well, this one isn't new, using data to make better decisions. And yeah, you can totally use AI to figure out which types of contents to go after. I like when it talks about HubSpot and Marketo for machine learning, because it'll fine tune the content based on the audience segment. So some people like A, some people like B. It'll feed A the A's and it'll feed B the B's. That's beautiful. So, because as an example, I'm an organic marketer type. So I prefer organic marketing type content. I like paid, but I'm not a paid guy. So I don't specialize in paid. Show me less paid stuff, please. I'd rather just partner with Dan or somebody who knows how to use, or knows where the hell the Facebook button is, right? Because I don't, right? Because
They
if you
move it
ask
every
me to
time.
jump into like Google, I'm Google certified, but I don't know where the damn button is. They move it every friggin' week. So yeah, since I don't do this as a daily thing, you know, I like A content. I don't like B content, as an example. Whereas a paid guy would love B but doesn't like A. But if your marketing thing is smart enough to feed me stuff I like, I will follow you more. That's brilliant. So AI just says, give the audience what they want, segment them, and then give them what they want. Yes.
So okay, but you're getting this data from analyzing your past performance of your content.
Well, it's saying that HubSpot and Marketo. So if you're using HubSpot or Marketo, you can literally see which ones that certain people are paying attention to. And because you've got that data, you know that Dan likes this and Earl likes that and Steve likes this and Bob likes that. So you can feed them exactly what they want. And that's the right way to go about it. Because then, you're giving them the right type of thing. If I use it from a larger store-ish standpoint, right? So, I like hats, clearly, because I wear a hat in every episode,
Mm,
mostly. So
yeah.
if you sold me hats, I would be interested if it was a cool hat, right? But clearly I'm male. I don't really wear pantyhose. You sell me a bunch of pantyhose, I'm not gonna click on your stuff, right? I'm not interested. So that's market segmentation based on behavior and preferences, right? But because it's using machine learning to figure this crap out, good, right? Um, I don't know what it is. So because some people they freak out about privacy and having marketing know more about you. I like that. I'm on a zig where people zag. I like
Hmm.
that. I want to see ads of stuff that I like. Please give me ads of stuff I like and stop giving me ads for stuff I don't like, right? Because then, I'm happier with the ads that I actually want to watch. Sometimes I watch it because it's entertaining. Sometimes I watch it because I like the product line. Sometimes I watch it because I think the video is funny. Cool. Give me more of that, right? The entertainment on the ads keeps me a happy camper. If you keep selling me crap I don't want, I'll skip all day long, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't have a problem with big corporations having my data. It's governments that worry me, but that's a whole other story,
Yeah,
whole
fair
other
enough.
topic.
Birds aren't
Um,
real. Let's continue.
yeah. So, excuse me. So you're developing an audience. You're developing knowledge of your audience by seeing who's responding to the content you've put out,
Right.
right?
And then it just kind of goes from there.
And
So,
you can
yeah,
you can see obviously which content produces the most interaction, but then you can also see who interacts with what. These two things both developed uh, high high interaction rate, but this one was liked by mainly middle-aged men, and this one was liked by 20-something women.
right.
That's what we're talking about, right?
Yeah. So, like sell to the right type of people, 'cause that's kind of what makes sense. Give them what they want. Give the audience
And
what they want.
AI will do all this analyzing for us.
Well, AI can figure that stuff out. It can segment the audience totally. It can segment it based on sex. It can segment it based on age. It can segment it based on behavioral patterns. It can segment it based on location. It can segment it based on whatever. And that's a smart way to do stuff.
Good. Can you, like, if you do a Facebook post, can you have AI analyze that, or you still got to do that the old-fashioned way?
Depends on what hooks and what you're using and what kind of stuff you're analyzing with. But I mean, essentially, like, if I just, pare it down to simple words, right?
Hmm.
You've
Please.
only got so much ammunition. So you've only got so much marketing budget. So you've only got so many marketing bullets, right? Well, why are you wasting bullets on things that you can't eat, right? If I, shoot the poisonous frog, we can't eat that thing, it'll kill us, right? Why are we shooting poisonous frogs, right? Kill the thing that you can eat, right? So you've only got so much, and the marketing dollars are precious, especially in this day and age, right? you know, the economy is down, everyone's freaking out, da da da. Well, your marketing dollars need to go that much further. So it's better to be precise. So I like the AI segmenting the audience based on behavior and preferences and providing professionalized content. That is a good thing, right?
All
When
right.
when when times are good and money's plentiful and you can just and ads are cheap, who cares? Take the money gun, have at her, give everybody, and you get ads and you get ads and everybody
Yeah.
gets ads, right?
Right.
But when times are lean, it's much more better to be more precise. I mean, it's better to be precise all the time, but you know, precision helps, right? When you're shooting stuff, it's not all the horseshoes and hand grenades.
Horseshoes and hand grenades. I think I've heard this before. What's the metaphor there?
Well, because horseshoes and hand grenades are the only game where close is close enough,
Oh,
right? You're scored based on closeness.
yeah. All right. I think there was so much to unpack in there. We've kind of overrun on our first two, so let's charge along here.
All right.
Number three is dynamic content scheduling and optimization. AI can optimize content calendars by suggesting the best times to publish content based on audience behavior data. Tools like this is just an ad for other AIs. Tools like CoSchedule or Buffer use AI to analyze set engagement patterns and recommend optimal posting times.
Mm-hmm.
Implement AI driven A B testing to continually refine your content strategy. AI can dynamically adjust content distribution based on real time engagement data, ensuring you're always using the most effective content formats and channels. It's kind of two things, isn't it?
Yeah,
Scheduling and
well, but
channels.
it's still dynamic content and dynamic optimization. So dynamic optimization is what color should I make the button, blue or orange? AI can figure that out. So humans used to have to, do we make it blue or do we make it orange? You don't have to do that anymore, and you have to do it all manually. AI can go, here's 10,000 options. Let's A/B split test the crap out of them, and the winner stays, right? And so instead of having to make one ad, here are 1,000 ads. and it can do that. And you can't really beat the machine on that. It'll spin the picture, it'll spin the headline, it'll spin the description a million different ways to Sunday. Humans can't fight that, right? Humans have to make the initial idea and then ideate from there, and then the machine just makes copies of copies of copies of copies, and you can't beat the speed of that. But you need both, right? So, when we were talking about your original seed idea of human, so that there's that precious thing, and then the machine spins it out. You need both. You need the human to come up with the seed idea, and you need the machine to spin out infinite numbers of permutations of that. On the other side, where it says it knows what time to publish stuff, I use Buffer. Buffer is great. It actually tells you, hey, publish this at 10:30. Why? You'll get more clicks. How come? More of the people that want to click your stuff are on that social media platform at 10:30. Cool. I'm not going to fight your data on it. Go for it. Publish it whenever you want, right? So that way, the AI knows when to get more engagement. So I like that. That's a cool thing. So instead of us having to guess, well, maybe we should do it at 11 o'clock. I don't know. Maybe 3 o'clock is better. Who knows? But if the AI goes, look, every time you post at 3 o'clock, it kicks butt. Every time you post at 11 o'clock, it sucks. Stop posting at 11. Brilliance. I will listen to it.
Makes sense. And here's what you were
Right.
just talking about, some human oversight. 2 things to avoid when using AI for content creation: over reliance on AI without human oversight. Here we have the KFC example again, don't we?
I know we keep making the same reference in our show, but the KFC situation, remember that one?
Yeah. I always feel
Yeah,
like I got to approach it gently, just a sensitive topic. Someone in Germany programmed the AI to create content for all the holidays in the German calendar. And they didn't take into account, we won't get specific here, they didn't take into account that not all of the things identified on the German history calendar are positive events, which should be met with happy blank everyone.
right. Yeah,
Let's
just
just say
don't do
that.
it. Just don't do it.
It was the equivalent of a computer in the US saying happy 9/11 everybody.
Right, exactly. That's good.
Yeah.
So you can't use the
Little
word
human
happy.
oversight would have gone a long way there.
Yeah. So agreed.
Although the cynic in me believes that there was a human there, but they were like a millennial who didn't learn history and they had no idea what those words meant.
oh,
I
maybe.
said, right?
But there's like these terrible designs. Like you see these memes on Facebook. So someone had to make it, then someone had to approve it, then someone had to print it, and then some idiot bought it. There's too many checks and balances. How can this happen?
I just saw a aerial shot of a new building, housing development that went in, and I think it was Phoenix area, and
Okay.
each of the 2 blocks of buildings were made up of 4 L-shaped
Oh my gosh.
blocks,
So made a swastika. Excellent.
2 swastikas.
It was
And it
beautiful.
was like, again, how many channels did this go through before someone was like, something?
Like the architect has to go through the drawing and it has to go through like, a bunch of people to, approve this thing and be like, oh yeah, the
Yeah.
plumbing is fine.
Don't don't you have to make a scale model at some point? And someone would go, hey, hang on a second.
Yeah. While you're making it or looking down. Hey.
Anyway, I didn't actually read this step. Avoid letting AI completely take over your content strategy. While AI can provide valuable insights, AI generated content may lack the nuance and creativity that comes from human experience and understanding. Ensure there's a balance between AI generated content and human input. AI tools can sometimes produce generic or repetitive content, which might not engage your audience effectively. Always review and customize AI generated suggestions, maintain a unique and compelling brand identity.
Right. Don't make the AI write your script and read it like a monkey without reading it first. That should go
Yeah.
without saying. But, sometimes, yeah.
You can have AI read it to you if you're lazy. You can be doing the dishes and listening to your content and go, hold on.
Totally. But, you have to check it first, right? You can't just go, yup, 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 make it so, and then just let it go buck wild. It's not going to be okay, right?
Did you see that thing where AI couldn't tell how many R's are in strawberry?
Yeah, I'm the one who showed it to you, remember?
Yeah, yeah. I tested it out. I wanted to see how AI was doing on that. And it's someone's corrected it. It now says there are 3 R's in strawberry. And while I was asking the question, I made a typo. I missed the R key and I hit the T key twice. So I wrote straw Betty,
Uh,
and I corrected it and I asked the question again. But I was like, wait, hang on a second. How many R's are in straw Betty? You know what it said? I swear to
three,
God, 9.
9.
So there's 9 R's in straw Betty.
So the funny thing is, when you ask AI to correct itself, it does. So the next prompt is actually, can you break down the number of R's and show me where they are? And then it will actually do it. And then you go, are you sure there's still 9? And it'll actually say, oops, my mistake. There's only this many in Strawberry. So
Yeah, it's good they programmed humility into the AI bots. I think that was
yeah,
important.
there you go.
All right, let's get it going here. So don't turn it all over to the machines, people. You still got to have your hands in it.
Agreed.
Number 2 is neglecting the ethical and quality considerations. This sounds interesting. Avoid using AI to create content that may inadvertently plagiarize or infringe on intellectual property. Well, who knows? Some AI tools may pull phrases or ideas from existing content, leading to unintentional duplication or copyright issues.
Hmm.
Be cautious about the ethical implications of AI generated content. Misleading or poorly fact checked content can damage your brand's reputation. Ensure all AI produced content is reviewed for accuracy and ethical considerations, especially in sensitive industries like finance or healthcare. Make sure you're not telling
So,
people there's 9 R's in strawberry.
right. Well, the funny thing is, it's in the quality of the prompt, right? And I know I've said this before on this podcast. It's the quality of your questions affects the quality of your life,
Hmm.
right? So the better questions you ask, the better answer you get. So when you're asking it to create content, you do realize you can also ask it, where did you find this? And can you give me the URL for the quote? And it'll do it. So, back in the day when you had to write a thesis or whatever, the bibliography was a pain in the ass. The AI can do it for you now. So when it finds the quote from so and so, it'll actually define where they said it, how they said it, when they said it. That's awesome. So you just have to ask it for it. So the ethical and quality consideration, just don't forget to ask, right? Like, hey, where'd you get this from? Right? And that'll avoid all those situations like when AI made up court cases.
Yeah. Did you see there was one recently with the new Martin Scorsese or Francis Ford Coppola? Oh, I can't remember
Sorry,
which one
yeah.
it was.
When you turned your head, I couldn't hear you.
Oh, sorry. I'll see if I can look it up. It's a new movie, Metropolis. Uh, and I can't remember if it's Martin Scorsese or Francis Ford Coppola,
Hmm.
but they created a poster for it um, that had made up quotes from critics.
Nice.
And I heard about this, um, and I immediately was like, they used AI, didn't they?
Yep.
They were trying. It was some kind of marketing strategy where they wanted to have quotes from critics who'd called the guy a bad filmmaker in the past or criticized his movies in the past.
Hmm.
And so someone went, give me times where famous movie critics have criticized um, this guy in the past, and then they just went ahead and used them, and they didn't check. Like one of them was from Roger Ebert,
Right.
and it was a critical quote, but it wasn't about him; it was about someone else.
Gotcha. That's not going to go well.
Yeah. Um, so
Well, yeah,
yeah,
just
they had to
don't leave the
apologize. So it's like
imagine your
ethical
AI is a
considerations.
toddler. And I'm not saying that from like a bad point. I'm just saying, imagine it's a toddler. You don't leave a toddler alone with a live stove. That's just a bad idea, right?
Yeah,
So, just watch it. Take care of the damn thing. Like take care of your AI, right? It's not meant to run solo 100% all by itself all the time, right? So when it's saying, ethical and quality considerations, when it's talking about, AI without human oversight, if you're doing that, that's your own damn fault, right? Then you're just
yeah,
lazy.
yeah, because it has no qualms about that.
Right. Well, like even us, like I come into this thing sight unseen. I ask it the question, I leave all the answers, I just copy paste it without looking. But then we're the human oversight. We're the ones who
Yeah,
go, "Hey, that's a great idea," or "That's abject horror and terrible." So
right. So
we're
we
the
we do
human,
still have a role in all this. We're not just it's not just robots.
we're the seed idea
Yeah,
and we're the quality control because it can't do both those things yet. Yet.
mhm, yeah. I remember there was a philosopher who was talking to a scientist, and the scientist was saying this was in the 50s. I was like, look, this machine brain can come up with answers better than we can. And the guy plugs in a question to the machine, and the machine, look, it came up with the answer faster than a human could. And the philosopher said, who put the question in?
Right.
Right. Okay, we really need to charge ahead here. So, what is AI's red hot tip for maximizing AI in content creation? Create a hybrid AI human content creation process. I was worried it was going to suggest creating a hybrid AI human.
That
That's from
process
later.
worked real important all of a sudden.
Neuralink, yeah. Um, create a AI human content creation process where AI generates the initial content or draft ideas, and then human experts refine, expand, and perfect the output. This approach combines the efficiency of AI with the creative and critical thinking skills of humans, ensuring your content is both high quality and engaging. Use AI tools to continuously learn from each piece of content's performance, allowing them to refine and improve future content suggestions. Incorporate feedback mechanisms where AI can learn from human edits and audience engagement metrics to produce increasingly tailored and impactful content over time. Basically, it just sounds like a summation of what we've been talking about.
Mm, yes, but not quite. So it says that where AI generates the initial content draft or ideas, and that's almost right. It's the human asks the questions to create the initial draft. And then here's the kicker part. If you can get then a conversation between the human and the AI. So the human comes up with the initial idea, the AI then gives you, spins of that idea. And then and before the AI gives you spins of the idea, it asks the human questions. That's one of the key things that people aren't realizing about ChatGPT. It's smart enough that you can ask it to ask you questions before giving an output. So that's the key, right? So
Mm.
give it what you think, tell it to ask you questions for clarification. So because everybody's terrible at explaining things. You ever seen that video of that dad who made the kids give him exact instructions on how to make a peanut butter sandwich?
I love that video.
Yeah, one of my
It's
favorites.
such a great educational tool for kids.
But that's AI. It will literally grant you, it's like an autistic genie, right? It just says, yep, and it does it. And like literally exactly what you said. And if you gave any leeway at all, either to the left or to the right or forwards or backwards, it's gonna eat that alive. So you have to give it a specific, it's almost like the genie that gives you a wish, but there's a catch, right? I wish for this. Yeah, but and then it adds some terrible thing to it. And that's the
Yeah.
exact same thing, right?
The
And I'm not
monkey's
saying that's a
paw.
bad thing, right? Um, one of my programmers had autism and he was brilliant. The problem is he did it exactly to a T. So if you gave him an instruction, he would follow that instruction to the T. So if you gave any leeway on anything, he would code it as such. But if you gave him implicit instructions, guy was a miracle worker. Dude
Mm.
could just make magic. And I'm like, man, and all you have to do is guide with that power set. I have ADHD, right? So, understanding what your limitations are and understanding what the communication pieces behind those pieces, you can turn ADHD into a weapon. You can turn autism into a weapon. And it's no longer a disability. It becomes a superpower once you know how to use it, right? So once you understand the nature of the beast, you know, play it play it like it is, right? Then you just play to your strengths as opposed to trying to play to your weaknesses. So, without the human feedback loop, of course it's going to do a bad job, but you've got to do feedback loops within feedback loops within feedback loops. That's the part that people don't understand. You can ask it to ask you questions. And that's a really key piece that people aren't putting in their prompts, or they're just giving it a prompt. You're just giving it an order. Here's your marching orders without taking the AI's consideration in, right? So, and that's a weird thing to say, but like, yeah, I have this course I'm putting together with a weird book, and the book is called AIs versus VAs, when to hire and when to automate.
Right.
And I wrote the entire thing using AI, but it was a back and forth conversation with AI. It wasn't just Earl commanding, do this, do this, do this. I would say, this is what I want to achieve. Ask me these questions for clarification, and then I'll give you feedback back. And then that loop over and over again produced something of value. and that human to AI back and forth is the value. If you just do pure human, will be slow. If you go pure AI, eh, it's going to make mistakes. But if you go back and forth, there's a beauty in that.
Hmm. Yeah, I'm just picturing that. I'm picturing like a sort of cinematically where you're like, you have a computer and you're arguing with it and going back and forth like the way a artist of old would be scribbling on his papers and tearing them up and throwing them
Yeah,
as like
and going back
pulling
and
his hair
forth,
out.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So I
Um,
totally did it when I was super sleepy though. So it was like 1 o'clock in the morning. So you have me like yawning and trying not to die. But
every now and
I
then it'll
documented the
just start
entire
writing
thing. I don't
these
know
like
why.
every now and then it'll just nod off in the middle of the book and like it'll just be Zeds from you snoring.
There you go.
Um,
All
so I
right.
just looked it up. It's Francis Ford Coppola, and the movie is Megalopolis, not Metropolis.
Megalopolis. All right.
Megalopolis, and it was actually the trailer. They actually put the quotes in the trailer for the movie.
Oh
So
my
someone wrote the
gosh.
script for the trailer using AI.
They were
Should be
lazy.
yeah. And the whole
Didn't
point
check.
was it was quotes of critics criticizing good movies like Godfather that later became classics, and people saying it
Hmm.
was a bad movie. I guess they're like proofing us up against people criticizing Megalopolis. Anyway,
All right. Well, it's that
let's
time.
wrap this up. Let's hit it. We're right
Here
on the
we go.
right on the hour here. Hack of the week.
Hack of the week. So it was talking about a bunch of data points and pulling in data
Mhm.
points. There's a really cool service called Talk Backup. And when you use these data points, what Talk Backup does is it pulls data off of the fastest growing platforms, which are YouTube Shorts, as of this recording, YouTube Shorts, Instagram, and TikTok. And what you do is you sort by what's important to you. You can sort by views, you can sort by comments, you can sort by engagement, you can sort by shares, right? Because if you look at it, views is what grows your channel because that's what grows the channel. But then if you actually want to sell a damn thing, you need comments because if no one's commenting on your and your people getting views, you're still not selling stuff. So you'll die without both. But you need one before the other. Unless you have enough broadcast power, who cares, right? If you're broadcasting to three people and one of them is your mother, ain't no one buying stuff from you, right? So, that's important. The other thing is that you need to build then based on that data. So the tack of the week is use Talk Backup. It's a brilliant tool. It only costs $8.
That's
It's so
TOK, by
worth
the way, folks.
TOK. Yeah. It is so
Talk
worth it.
backup.
The $8 was the best $8 ever. And then
That's one
use
time
it
eight
to
dollars or monthly $8.
no monthly.
Okay.
But to do it manually would cost way the hell more than $8 or like take you hours and hours and hours. Like you could do it manually if you wanted to. It would just take you forever. Um, use it to build, and here's the other piece. I'll give you a double hack. The other hack is like use it to build both sales and personalizations, right?
So
So
sorry, hang on. I may have idioted out there for a second. What does Talk Backup actually do?
Talk Backup, what it does is you can pick a channel. So let's say you like Alex Hormozy and you want to see every Alex Hormozy video. And you can actually figure this out all the way through. And yeah. And so it'll show you every single one he's ever made. What are the top ones? Which ones make the most amount of sense? Which ones have the most views? Which one have the most comments based on what you want? That's it. So it shows you
Hmm.
which is the best video on the channel, which are the best performing ones. I did it with Tony Robbins, and even Tony Robbins has some duds, right?
Yeah.
Tony Robbins,
Hmm.
the coach of coaches has some videos with like 8 comments on them. Nobody cared.
Right.
I'm like, holy crap. Tony
Almost 100% of
Robbins
the
makes
shots they don't
mistakes.
take.
Yeah, exactly. But because you're standing on I'll use the pun, shoulders of giants, right?
Yeah.
Since he's a giant, um, you know, you can leverage off of all the research that his teams have spent, hours and hours and millions of dollars figuring this stuff out. So there you go. Um, the second hack I was talking about,
Yeah.
and so we'll just wrap it up after this, is use it to build both sales and personalization content. Everything you do can't be about pitch, 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 pitch. You can also have it make personal commentary. Get it to know you. Tell AI that you can play harmonica and I play the piano, and we now both play with sticks and knives. And so you could talk about this stuff and it'll get to know you, and then it'll actually come up with anecdotes that can cross over into personalization space. So it's not just business makes you a dull boy the entire time. You can have some fun stuff in there. And when you ask it to make the prompts, make one fun, make one businessy, and then post twice. Now you're doubly as interesting.
One fun, one business each day.
There you go. It's like a mullet, business in the front, party in the back,
Okay, but you do business in the morning, party in the evening, or
whichever way you want.
Well, whichever way gets the most engagement according to your
Right. But then ask the AI.
analyzation of your metrics, right?
Yes, sir. And
A/B
with that,
tested.
we have a wrap.
Oh, there we go. I proved my worth once again by putting a perfect bow. So
All right.
I guess that's it. Is there anything you'd care to say or ask here?
No, I'll play us out, and thank you for the show. That was fun.
Do we decide, are we saying goodbye before or after the music? I feel like
After.
Okay.
After.
Let's play us out. Let's play us out.
Here we go.
Thanks for listening to Earl and the Idiot. We hope you learned something you can take action on this week. For more information or to contact the show, visit earlandtheidiot.com. And until next time, remember what Shakespeare said. The fool doth think he is wise, but the wise man knows himself to be a fool.
Thanks, everybody, for joining us. Thank you, Earl, for the geniusness. Thank you, AI, for doing the heavy lifting.
Thank you, Dan, for being an excellent host and making your cool 50s robot. That is magnificent behind you, by the way.
I do what I can. He is
All
good.
right.
I do